Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Hong Kong's lunch hour rush in the Central Business District. So I'm basically riding what's called the mid-level escalators here in the Central Business District of Hong Kong. And what it does, it just takes you all the way from the ground level business area all the way up the hill to the more residential areas. And the reason for that is that there's a lot more food options, restaurants options, if you're willing to trek the escalators up, and it just keeps going up. I just walk for like a crossing, get on another escalator, and we just keep going. And the only reason I'm up really is because I just happen to have a meeting that's gonna be up there, and it's going to happen right after my lunch. So I just thought that I would just pop in and grab lunch somewhere up there as well in order to save time, and so that I'm not in a rush to go to my meeting. So I can take my time and sneak in a little bit of a sketch. I'm really hungry, so I'm just gonna go and eat first, and then I will start sketching afterwards. Whew. I just finished my lunch, and I think now it's time for a good old quick sketch. So what I have here is my Stillman Burn and Nova. I'm gonna be using this gray paper today. I'm probably gonna be drawing with my Sailor Food Aid and pen. So it's a pen that has like sort of a bent nib at the end. Let me actually erase this. So the nib is a little bit bent, and because of that I can make like different strokes depending on the angle that I hold my pen up in. I have my watercolors that I've actually already spritzed with water as I was eating, so I think the water is kind of like soaking in, which is gonna make the watercolors really nice and juicy. And then lastly I have my water brush, because I know that, you know, even though I'm in a cafe, I can very conveniently use this table and use like a normal brush, but honestly it's just so much more convenient with this. And I'm just gonna wipe everything here in this restaurant napkin. You know, just gotta use what we have, right? And of course, coffee. Bitter, but ooh, it's good. It's good to wake myself up, and let's go. Take it away, virtual Becky. Right after I finished my lunch, I chucked it down really quickly because I was really hungry. So I did have some time to sketch, and that's just what I did. And this is classic Stillman and Burn Nova sketchbook. It's in the gray pages, and I'm just using my Sailor Food Aid and pen. It's the bent nib, and I'm just starting with the backside of it, so I flip my pen around, and it's because it gives me these like really thin lines, and it's because I wanted to chart in kind of like the details and the shape first. I'm starting from the center because that is the point that is closest to me, so I'm just starting with that, and then I'm building out the shapes to the outer sides of it. So I was starting with that coffee machine, a lot of the coffee cups, some of the dispensers, and I'm just slowly building in the shapes one by one, trying to make sure that they're all relative to each other so the proportions are correct. I initially figured if I wanted to use some of the thicker lines, and in the end I only used it for the counter space, and everything else stayed quite thin because there's just so much going on in there. And I know that sketching is all about simplifying and everything, but at the same time there's just something about the busyness of coffee shops and all the different items that they have on there, like the gazillion different cups, all the different sizes and all the different machines, like the grinder and the water dispenser and everything. And I wanted to catch that in its entirety because I thought that was quite fun. So here I'm just drawing out the chairs as well. There's just a lot going on. All of it is going to be colored in a little bit later. So I do have my art toolkit pocket palette off to the side there. You can kind of see in the corner where it's just soaking in water for the time being as I'm trying to make sure that I've got the paints in. And now that I'm ready with my line work, I'm ready to jump in with the color. So one of the things that I really am making sure of is I wanted to make sure that there's warmth in this painting. And that's mainly because of the cool nature or the cool kind of tone of this gray paper. So I wanted to add in some warmth. There's like a lot of orange action going on there, a lot of burnt sienna. And you can see that that tone actually really matches the table, which I think is an accurate representation of the color notes of the coffee shop. And everything is relatively low-ish in saturation, like it's a little bit muted. And the reason for that is it's because, so for this coffee shop, their accent color is orange. And I really want that orange to pop. And you've seen that I've already done some like test marks and stuff. So in order to make that orange pop, I need to tone down the vibrancy of all of the other colors. And that's why all of the colors here tend to be a little bit muted. I think having the gray sort of underlying tone really helps as well, because it does sort of mute and tone down the colors a little bit. And then when I come in with the orange and that makes a white gouache, it'll be like bam, just like in your face, very bright, very strong. When put in the right places, I think it's very effective. So I'm just slowly building out all the shapes. I'm trying to get sort of the reflective nature of a lot of these machines. So like the coffee machine, for example, it's reflective metal. So I'm just trying to do that by really coming in with the highlights. But I actually haven't come in with the highlights yet. And when I do, it'll kind of pop out a little bit, because at the moment I'm just starting from sort of a mid-tone and going darker. But the beauty of going with a toned paper is that you can always bring in the highlights a little bit later and it's gonna be awesome. So here you can see that I'm coming in with the accent color and it's a lot brighter than the others, and I'm trying to put in the reflections of the oranges here and there, coming in with kind of the white reflections, and you can see just how much it pops compared to the rest of the painting. And I do kind of want to focus your eye there, but also kind of see all the other busy stuff here in the coffee shop. And with that, we are done with our sketch. This is my final sketch. As you can see in the beginning, I did some test marks first because I kind of knew that in this place the accent color is orange. So I just wanted to make sure that I got the orange in, and I kind of like that it's not superbly vibrant, because I did test sort of the orange in its entirety and I just thought that was way too saturated. So I diluted it a little bit with gouache, and I found out that that was the right sort of hue saturation that I would like to keep in my sketch. So here's the finished sketch. It's bigger than my face, and I'm just excited to have this one more in the memory books for me. And with that, that is going to be it from me today. I need to go to my meeting now, so I'm just going to pack everything up and act like I just arrived here in time for the meeting. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming along with me once again. Hope you have a great time. Happy sketching, and I'll catch you next one. Bye!